Alrighty, this is the Brick Dungeon Master with another video for y'all. In this video, I wanted to give a more detailed description on the characters that I made for my fantasy RPG party that I'll be using throughout the channel here. Fun fact about all these characters, the subscribers here requested all of these characters, and so this whole entire party was all here for the community. The community helped put this party together. So big shout out to everyone that was a part of this. Y'all are awesome. Y'all are amazing. If you want to see a shorter description of this party, feel free to check out my short. But pretty much what I'm going to be doing in this video is we'll just be discussing each one and pretty much what I did and what kind of challenges I faced when making each character. So let's get into it. So when I had asked for requests on characters to make a fantasy party, I wasn't specifically asking for like a D&D party, just anything that fits the fantasy theme. As long as it was family friendly and was an original character, it was fair game. And this is definitely a good example of this. The first requester asked for a slug/goo person. They are highly inspired by the YouTuber DougDoug and their character Slugma, who uses the sprite known as Sluglord to bring them to life. And in my personal opinion, Sluglord looks a lot like Jabba the Hutt. So originally when I was thinking of a slug character like Jabba, I'm thinking, okay, the build itself, I'm thinking maybe more like a tank or a wizard perhaps. But the requester instead had asked for a bard, which honestly, I'm totally fine with that. It was a little bit of a challenge at first. I wanted to do a much bigger instrument, but due to the lack of mobility of the hands, I wasn't able to do that, so I made a much smaller fantasy looking like horn type of design. Honestly, looks amazing. As for the model here, this is not official Lego. I want to make sure that it stood out. So this is a custom Zero the Hutt from the Clone Wars, and honestly, in my personal opinion, I think it's the perfect fit for a bard. I may be a Lego purist, but sometimes I do need to get out of my Lego purist mindset, and definitely, I definitely needed this for sure. So, yeah, that is our Slug Bard. After I had finished my first character, or I had gotten my first request, that is, a few of my other friends were so nice enough to subscribe to the channel as well and to actually help me out with the rest of the requests so that way I can make a party for the channel. So big kudos to everyone that participated. Big thumbs up to everyone again. So this requester has suggested a ghost rogue that's a swashbuckler. So basically a ghost pirate rogue. Now for ghosts, you can pretty much do anything. I want to try and keep just like the same color for the most part. So we're going with a lot of green. Very happy with the design. I was originally going to do like a Garmadon torso, but it was in like a nice toothpaste green. Toothpaste green as in the same color as like the hands and the sword, just to be make sure we're all on the same page here. But to be fair, I want to make sure that I had the cloak, and I'm very happy with the cloak. Very happy with it. Kind of looks like an ectoplasma cloak or something. Super cool. Definitely a very unique character. Very simple in design, but I went through so many alterations with this character. I'm very happy with the final result for this one. I know one of my previous shorts I showed the first version of him, and he looked pretty good. But I will say, I'm very happy with how this result turned out. And that is my second request, the Ghost Pirate Rogue. Alrighty, this one by far was probably one of the ones that I had a lot of difficulty just trying to get this just right. My next requester had requested a Furbolg Druid. So a Furbolg is basically a half giant that is a mix between a giant and a fae, according to the 5th edition of D&D. So we're going straight into D&D races for this one. Unless you're going with Irish mythology that also has Furbolgs, but their Furbolg are basically just these half giants that just have lots of red hair. Unfortunately, with this build, I couldn't do a beard or anything, so I had to think very Druid-esque. I wanted to make sure I just kept with the 5th edition of D&D, just to kind of have a character that stands out. I mean, to be fair, I don't have too many characters that would have had the traditional Lego yellow complexion, except, of course, for my next one, which we will get into after this character. But yeah, I want to make sure each character kind of stood on its own way. I would have preferred if I did have a facial hair, but I wanted to get that nice blue tint just to make sure everyone knows it's a different race and not just like a really tall red-haired person. You know, I want to make sure that people knew it was a D&D race and not just a really tall person. So yeah, I just used the Hagrid body type for this one, the newer one, mainly so that way I can replace the hands with gloves. Since the older models you can't take them apart. And yeah, I mean, did a decent job. We got a nice little cape going on there. We got a little mushroom staff with a flower and stuff. Alright, let's see if we can actually, yeah, there we go. Yeah, there's the little staff. I'll definitely probably 100% change this guy up later on in the future, but so far, honestly, I'm very happy with the design. He looks like a gentle giant, which is fine. I mean, I was originally trying to go for a more like menacing giant, but to be fair, it's a druid. They care about nature. So I think, honestly, this is perfect, in my personal opinion. That looks more, you know, like a very gentle giant, because they really do care about nature. The Furbolgs are very into nature, at least the ones for the 5th edition of D&D. I don't know too much about the original Furbolgs. But yeah, that is my third request, the Furbolg Druid. And last, but certainly not least, comes my last request from a very good friend of mine. When I just told them that I was this close to finishing up the party, they had originally asked if I could do a Silksong character for my party. And honestly, in my head, right then and there, I'll be honest with y'all, in my mind, I'm going, man, my subscribers, they're torturing me with all these brilliant ideas. I mean, they're good and all, but I don't know how I would even do a Silksong inspired character. But I pretty much just told them, as long as it's the original character, and I get like at least like a class for them, I'm totally down. You know, having free reign with the character, unless you know you really want to add a race to the character, just so that way you have more. I guess like you know to be more specific. If you want something more specific, and instead of doing a Silksong character, they decided for their second idea they wanted to go for a beast tamer centaur ranger. That's the word, ranger. I had to think of the word for a second. which would have been awesome because that was actually a character of theirs that they are playing or for a D&D campaign, or want to at least. They're very specific with the build. They wanted the horse to have the really nice poofy like battle horse legs, and I did politely let them know that I only have one model for the centaur build, and Lego only made two different colors, so they're exact same mold, 100%. They're just different colors. So mine's the more darker version that is found in a Lego Harry Potter set. You can find a lighter version of it, like a lighter brown, in one of the minifigure series. So then finally they suggested the Centaur Artificer. I'm like, okay, yeah, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do that. You have free reign to ask whatever you want. Just make sure that you quickly put it down, because I don't know if anyone's going to request anything. Luckily, no one requested after this fourth one, or else I would feel really, really bad. Even if someone had requested something, I probably would have made like a side character for them or something like that. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up the the fantasy RPG party. Thank you all for listening in. If you want to see more videos about my party, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you get to know whenever I'm making videos. I will forewarn you, I do more shorts than videos. But if I ever am doing a bigger project, like explaining something, I'll make sure to bring a video on here. But definitely check out my shorts. I try to post one at least like once a week. So yeah, about that said and done, let me know in the comments below if you have any ideas of what I should maybe change to any of my party members, or if you have any ideas, for example, of where I should put my party members in first. Like, what kind of scenery should we do? I'm just forewarning all of y'all, I'm not building an entire city. I do not have the Lego budget for it. My channel is just fantasy RPG inspired Lego builds. So I won't be making like a progressive city. But I will be making progressive builds. I will be keeping. So I won't be one of those content creators like, okay, we're done with this series, so we're going to recycle the parts. Nah, I'm trying to make sure that I keep record of what I'm building for this series. So we might alter some builds here and there, but I won't like be dismantling any important builds for the series. So yeah. That said and done, this is the Brick Dungeon Master signing off, and I hope you all have an amazing day.